Warning. The following podcast is utter nonsense and may cause agoraphobia, kleptomania, insomnia, and oppositional defiance disorder. We are required by law to provide you with this disclaimer for hazardous materials.
And welcome to Hazardous Materials, last week's comics this week. My name is Casey. With me, as always,
Gideon Gonzalez. And this is the show where we look at, as we say in the title, last week's comics this week, right before the new books comes out, tell you what you might have missed, and then sprinkle in some sweet, sweet pop culture and comics adjacent news on top.
A little media, a little TV stuff, and damn, we got some good stuff this week. But before we get into the really good stuff, we have to step in the ant mound a little bit with that stinker, Superman Year 1, number 3. Tell me why we had to read this.
It's important.
It's relevant to comics history because it's got Frank Miller.
Frank the Tank is certainly producing another Frank Miller comic.
He made another comic.
Yep.
That's what he did this time.
Okay, so I should a lot to unpack.
I should really preface this as the fact I was a huge Frank Miller fan during the time when Bullseye and Elektra were high on the Daredevil things, right around like 169 to issue 200, I'd say. That was, I think, Frank was...
Daredevil Born Again is, really I still think, one of the greatest comic arcs ever written.
Yeah,
and
easily.
Drawn by Dave Mazzucchelli, which is just gorgeous.
And I'm going to say this, too. I had to say that the Daredevil books are better than Dark Knight.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I would also put Batman Year 1 over Dark Knight.
Yeah.
I think Dark Knight's really, really good and really influential, but it's much more heavily flawed than I think his other work from the same time period.
I don't find myself reading it on a regular basis like I do, say, Watchmen.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's got that essential library.
Mm-hmm.
They got to have their Dark Knight Returns, their Watchmen, and their Crisis on Infinite Earths.
For me, it's somewhere. Kraven's Last Hunt.
What was it?
Kraven's Last Hunt.
Kraven's Last Hunt. Yes. The artist that did the Punisher miniseries.
Mike Zeck.
Mike Zeck. Where is he now?
That shows pretty regularly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our official tangent now. We're talking about Mike Zeck now. Tell me about Mike Zeck.
I got him to sign my Secret Wars number 8 a couple years ago, and he was a cool dude.
Yeah.
Was managed to upsell me on a print, and I was like, whoa. Didn't even realize I was doing this, but hey, it was like $20.
Some old issues just a couple of days ago. Some comics I just have laying around in my kitchen of all places, and boom, there's my Punisher number 1 for the miniseries just sitting there. It's a little old.
The one where
board.
he's going like,
yeah. But yeah. With that said, we're talking about this. I have to say, it really seems to me, and I'm just gonna dive right in and say that Frank has forgotten how to write Batman.
Yeah. It's a very schoolyard tough guy Batman who's just like, come at me, Superman.
Yeah, it's like the jock got a hold of a Batman suit. Yeah. Now he's all badass and he loves what he does. I've never known Batman to love what he does.
Yeah, it's his inner monologue is very much just like, God, I love punching people. I love being the baddest guy in Gotham. Ain't nobody gonna stop old Bruce Wayne like he's cutting a wrestling promo.
Yeah, either that or like we basically got ourselves an inebriated cosplayer who's just completely enveloped in the moment. What the hell's going on?
As someone who really liked Batman v Superman, this was dumb Batman v Superman.
Yeah, and there was a lot of Batman v Superman in this.
Yeah, I was surprised with how much of space was monopolized by Clark going to Gotham to have a smackdown with Batman, sponsored by Lex Luthor.
Yeah, exactly the same way. It's like Frank was watching that movie that time when he decided to make this comic.
It really does feel like he's like one of the 1 million comic creators being like, here's how we should have probably done Batman v Superman. But this is the one that got published and it's really dumb. Like,
I mean, we're kind of throwing Batman under the bus on this one, but let's also throw Superman under the bus and just how Clark decided to be a reporter.
He saw a cute reporter and decided that'd be cool.
Yes. He essentially ran into Lois Lane,
who crashes into Atlantis, where he's been chilling with Lori Lamaris.
And he saves her.
Yeah.
And he becomes so enamored with her, he decides to become a reporter.
And he fights all of his old SEAL buddies.
Yeah, and they don't recognize him at all.
Yeah. He beats the tar out of all of them.
He really does. And not on a single one of these high-end Navy special ops gentlemen looks this guy directly in the face. Nothing. No recognition.
I'm just going to apply the old, if this was a book that I liked and I wanted to do mental gymnastics to justify dumb things in it, I would say, it's the John Byrne excuse of that when he's Superman, his face is constantly vibrating at a weird frequency. Effect. Yes, exactly.
That was a really good effect. That was actually probably one of the best comic book seasons ever on Flash, is when they were doing the reverse Flash and he was doing that vibrate thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that so much.
And John Byrne said that Superman does a similar but lower key that you can't really notice when you're looking at him. But if you try to take a picture, it's like, oh man, Superman's face is all blurry. Yeah.
And okay, I'll go with that. Byrne's kind of got my vote.
But again, this is just a worse version of Byrne's Man of Steel. Because it has the Batman meeting, but done terribly. It's got him going to Metropolis, done terribly. Him meeting Lois, him getting a job at the planet. He's kind of, this is usually a problem with Superman media, where Clark just shows up to the Daily Planet and gets handed a job. This super does it.
And the sharp-nosed reporter, Lois Lane, top of her field, looks at Superman in a picture and goes, hey, that kind of looks like Clark. Nah. You know, I got one good thing to say about this series, and it's done.
Yeah.
Yep, this is the final issue. We don't have to look at this one anymore.
I don't think this is going to be quite as fondly remembered, for better or for worse.
This is not going to be a milestone in comics.
Yeah, it's certainly no Batman Year One.
No, but it feels like All-Star Batman.
Yes, which you
had to remind me is also Frank the Tank.
A Frank Miller, Jim Lee joint. There's an interesting story about why Batman's so nuts. Well, I don't know if it's ever been confirmed, but I actually really like this theory.
So we could go into this and give him the benefit of the doubt and saying that Batman in Year One is the same nutty Batman.
Yes.
That's an all-star.
All of Miller's Batman stuff is supposed to be in continuity with each other. But if you read All-Star Batman and Robin or Superman Year One, you'll be like, where's the cool, collected Batman from Year One?
No, all we get is the verbally abusive. I don't know why I've even got a Robin except to yell at somebody routinely. Batman.
The perpetual 5 o'clock shadow.
Yes, the grizzled one.
So the theory that I read was that after a year or so of beating up crooks and the Falcones and all them, and Year One Batman kind of goes nuts and loses touch with humanity and just really buys into his own hype. He's not really fighting supervillains.
That's what he felt like in this.
Yeah.
He was totally into his own hype.
Yes. And the idea for All-Star was that we would have had a longer run had it been able to keep going. And we would see Robin mellowing out crazy Batman into a more traditional Batman who would then age into the Batman of Dark Knight Returns.
So what you're saying is that Superman Year One would have benefited from Robin showing up.
Yes. Yeah, 100% yes. I know. And we can actually prove that point because my favorite Superman origin of the last decade, Superman American Alien, has a great issue with Dick Grayson in it. One of the best of 7 really good issues. The Dick Grayson issue is a highlight.
Excellent. Well, let's jump from this bad Superman to a good Superman.
A really good Superman, yeah.
A very good Superman.
Superman Smashes the Klan by Gene Luen Yang and the art team of Gurihiru.
This takes place in 1946, and it really does follow into what Superman comics looked like in 1946. It has the black logo, the triangle versus instead of the diamond head. Superman can't fly. He runs. And not only does he run fast, but he runs fast on power lines so as not to get involved in traffic.
Very, very sweet boy.
Yes.
Our Clark.
A nobleman.
It's his first encounter with Kryptonite, which another creation of the radio show, which this is what this is. It's an adaptation of the classic Superman radio show, particularly the story Clan of the Fiery Cross.
Right. A lot of people don't know about this because, well, you're not that old, but Superman did have his own radio show, and in that radio show, Superman beat the crap out of the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah, and in real life, too, he exposed a bunch of Klan secrets. Some of the writers kind of like went undercover down south to like learn how their meetings operate and stuff, and it really kind of...
It brought them Ku Klux Klan into the mainstream in a negative light, a directly negative light.
After years and years of pro-Klan propaganda, like, say, Birth of a Nation, it was a really eye-opening piece of media. And we're getting an amazing adaptation of it because, my God, like,
I really like the perspective on this. It establishes the fact that Metropolis does have, in fact, his own Chinatown, much like San Francisco would. Although Metropolis we've kind of established it's a New York kind of New Jersey kind of thing.
Yeah, like
it's across the bay from New Jersey, which is where Gotham is.
The description I've always liked is Metropolis is New York during the day and Gotham is New York during the night.
That's probably the best way to go about it. But this Chinese American family is going into Metropolis proper because the father has a new job being a chief engineer, or a chief scientist at a biology, some kind of thing,
some sort of lab.
And of course, the scientists come to meet him, and one of them is very gregarious and is like, "Oh, welcome to the town. This is great." And then you got that skinny little piece of crap right behind him going, "Must be nice." Here's something I baked. You'll notice it doesn't smell like cat.
It's just
really, we're already going for the greatest hits on racism.
So
right out the door.
In case you couldn't tell, that guy's 100% a Klansman.
Yeah,
who has a nephew who encounters the kids and also throws around some racial slurs. Yeah. But I really like how the book kind of digs into that weird dichotomy of white supremacists who idolize heroes like Superman, who the values just don't line up.
They really don't.
But it just kind of shows the lengths people go to convince themselves that their beliefs are correct and ignore any oxymorons in there.
So what was the boy's name? I forgot. I know the girl's name is Roberta.
I've already forgotten.
What his name is. I know his last name is Lee. I should have retained that, but he joins the local youth football. Baseball. I was getting there.
We got there.
Baseball. Mm-hmm. And of course he runs into the kid you're talking about, and they have their little clash, and Superman intercedes right before the kid's about to bash poor Lee in the head with a baseball bat. Or no, that happened at his house, not the baseball field. That's right.
The baseball field, they kind of just like...
They run into Jimmy Olsen, who's running that team.
And Jimmy kicks the kid out. And
you're fired.
They go their separate ways.
Now, here's something I did like is... I guess they're trying to showcase the fact that this kind of behavior, this kind of thought is not born in. It's manufactured. It's created by your environment, because when the kid goes home, he's already sorry for what he did. He's already actually taking upon himself that it's his fault, and the kid didn't intend to do this and all this other stuff. And then here comes his dad.
Uncle.
Yeah. Going, oh no, that's crap. They're a devious people. And they probably can, convinced you that this is the way it is, but that's how they get in. And so
I really like that the ending of the book kind of shows that these concepts and behaviors can be unlearned.
Right.
Like, I feel like that's going to be that kid's arc for the remaining two issues, is because he does meet up with Superman at the end.
Yeah. And then you find out why he's wearing those red boots.
Exactly. Because he loves Superman.
Because he loves Superman so much. I did notice one thing, that they don't actually name the KKK by name. They actually gave it some kind of fictional name. I don't know whether they did that to deny them any kind of real...
I mean, they're called the Klan. Promotion. They're all wearing pointed hoods.
And the uniforms look exactly the same. I just don't call it by name.
I wouldn't be surprised if the name just hasn't come up yet. I feel like it's going to, because in the back matter, they do explicitly refer to the KKK multiple times.
This just seems like an interesting book to pick up on. I mean, not only to pick up on, but to give a deluxe treatment, because this is more than twice the size of your usual comic.
It's $8, but it's huge. It has no ads. It's square bound and includes a third of an essay in the back by Jean Luen Yang. And the downside is the next issue doesn't come out till December. Yeah. Presumably the third issue will come out in February. I feel like they could have just released it as one original graphic novel. It's also not in a traditional comic book size. It's also released in digest size.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I'm actually looking at it. That's why I keep looking down at it, because you've got it bagged and board, and there's a lot of board going on there.
I was kind of like, do I put it on my shelf? Do I put it in bag and board? And I was like, if I get the trade, I'll put that on my shelf, and I'll just have these as singles. Because it's a really weird choice for format, but I do really love the book, and I highly, highly recommend picking it up. It is excellent.
And I enjoyed the nice clean, simplistic art style they decided to go for, which is Gwenpool and Power Pack artists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Gurihiru, they're a art team, and they've done some phenomenal work here.
So I'm looking forward to reviewing the rest of that.
Me too. That won't be till December, though.
No,
and it ends on a pretty big cliffhanger.
Yes, it does. But speaking of cliffhangers, we got Flash Forward to look to.
Pew! And I'm very glad they didn't kill President Superman.
Yeah, because it really seemed like it might be happening.
I was like, don't you do this. Don't erase all the goodwill that you've earned from me with that first issue by killing one of the best all-universe Supermen.
But you really can't do this. I was actually reading an old Power Girl issue, and they were talking about the fact they're beating the crap out of Power Girl with like this clone. And they said, well, are we just going to leave her like this? And they call it Savannah or whatever the guy was. He goes, we're going to have to. It's incredibly hard to kill a Kryptonian. Their cells basically are like little power batteries. It's just a lot of effort. We should just leave.
You got to have like a big version of the Hulk with diamond bones.
Yeah. So, I mean, President Superman just having a little blood on his face. I'm like, I'm not concerned about that in the slightest. He's going to live through that. Trust me. I've seen Doomsday beat the crap out of a Kryptonian. That guy came back from that.
Yeah. So old Scotty Lobbs and Brett Booth this issue have Wally West trying to fix his first universe, which is Earth 28. Earth 28, home of President Superman.
And apparently the Avengers and the X-Men.
Oh, no, they're not from that universe. They're from a different universe crossing in.
Okay, because I didn't see an indicator that said they were different. And when President Superman came in, they spoke to him like they knew who he was.
Yeah. Traditionally, the Marvel universe, I don't remember what the designation for it is, but it's lower than 28. Because I remember because that version of those characters appeared in Multiversity.
Oh, it's Earth 8.
Earth 8, there we
it's
go.
Earth 8, yeah, that's right. I did catch that.
With Krakoa, the best name ever.
Yeah, or Orb Head or something like that was Cyclops.
It was Uniorb was Cyclops.
Uniorb, yeah.
Oh, what was
Omni-Orb or something like that.
The Nightcrawler had a really cool name.
Night Terror.
Something like that.
Who spoke in third person.
Yes.
Yes.
When he ports in instead of
when
Bamps.
I saw that, I was like, oh, wow, look at this. I feel like I'm in the Authority all over again.
Yeah. They were the Zen Men.
Yeah, the Zen Men and the
Retaliators.
The Retaliators. The Revengers. I got it.
So
I see what you did there.
The Dark Multiverse is dripping on these two universes and causing them to kind of have a little bit of overlap. So Wally is doing his best to use his little, essentially, Dark Multiverse vacuum rod that the Tempest Fusionaut gave him.
At the same time,
yes,
apparently the Americas of Earth 28 has decided to fire an anti-life bomb. That's pretty impressive.
Great name.
That says what it means. It means what it says.
Wally's got to navigate a superhero fight, cleaning up this dark matter from devouring the world, and then also maybe hopefully stop a bomb at the end.
And he's only got 3 seconds to go after that. And then thankfully we got President Soups coming in there with the save on the anti-life bomb. Way to go, Soups. I'm still enjoying this.
It's a really fun book.
I'm really still enjoying this.
I really like seeing Wally becoming a hero again. Oh, and man, that final page reveal.
Yeah, what
his kids?
This is Jai.
Jai and Irie. Yeah.
So that okay.
I love them.
I was confused for a second. Is that Iris Allen or is that Iris's daughter? And then I just now.
Iris's daughter, yeah.
It's his daughter.
Unless Jai got very, very tall.
Yeah. Well, I'm really glad they brought his kids in because
me too. That
was the thing that fractured him the deepest.
Yeah.
Is the fact that he had memory of them and they didn't exist.
But they're coming back.
They're coming back.
So it really is. On the one hand, on the surface, I'm recognizing like, is this mostly just like 100% Wally West fan service? Yes. Because we deserve it, frankly.
And we want it.
It's been a rough decade for being a Wally fan.
Ever since I caught wind of what they were going to do to Wally West, I have felt victimized, personally victimized, because I was like, he just got here.
Since Heroes in Crisis 9 came out, snakes have manifested physically in my home. I have not known peace.
I haven't either. I was so angry when that book came out. I went in. So I have a thing on my Facebook because I try not to cover my Facebook thing with all things comics because all my friends are not necessarily comic fans.
But most things comics.
But most things. I have another page that I just have for my friends. And I just dump all my comic stuff in there. And I was so outraged on this that all of my outrage came onto my main page.
Oh, no.
I was like, who's this Flash? That's not the way Flash looks. It's like, that's how my Flash looks.
It's the real Flash.
It's the real Flash. So what is this? This is a 3 or a 5 issue run.
This is a 6-issue miniseries.
6. Oh, we're going the long haul.
Exactly. So we're only a third of the way done. And they better announce a new Wally ongoing after this.
Oh, God, yes. And I like the fact that they're going back to the red on red outfit that with the silver accents.
It's very good. I love that outfit.
I really did love that outfit. Okay, so we're in agreement. Aces on Flash Forward.
Yes.
Let's dip a little bit into an independent book. You probably recognize this. This is we're going to talk about The Mask. And most people, when they hear The Mask, they think of the Jim Carrey movie and the awful Jamie Kennedy follow-up. This is nothing like that nonsense. The Mask, as it is in comics, is a pretty visceral, violent montage of nasty, nasty things.
Yeah, it is one of my favorite indie books of the 90s, but my God, is it...
It's ugly.
Yeah, they are nasty books. I love them. Originally created by John Arcudi and Doug Mankey, and... Whew, they do not pull punches.
No, this is The Mask as it was.
So in the movie, he's got these like cartoon reality warping powers, but everyone else kind of gets that bubble from him.
Yeah.
Comics Mask, he's the only one affected by these. So when he pulls a machine gun out of his pants and shoots people with it, they get horrifically serrated into just gobs of viscera.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, that one scene in Jim Carrey's Mask where he's in the alleyway and the criminals are besieging him, and he does pull out, boom, the super weapons.
Yeah.
That's actually in the comic.
It just goes much, much differently.
Much horribly for the criminals involved.
Same with the bit where he ties the guy like into a balloon animal and like shoves the tailpipe up the other guy.
Yes.
Yeah, much more graphic in the book.
Yeah, good old
they're
sugarcoating.
They're basically horror comedies.
Straight out.
Very, very, very dark comedies. And like in the original one, Stanley Ipkiss dies in the first issue.
And Stanley Ipkiss is not a decent person.
He's barely in the story. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they showcase the fact that he was shot by his wife, who becomes a second mask.
Kathy. And there's Detective Calloway, who also puts on the mask.
And his wife is now running for office.
Yes. In The Mask, I pledge allegiance to the Mask. We have real time has passed since the last Mask story, which is like 2000, I think, is when Joker Mask came out. So close to 20 years.
And so we've got Kathy is basically
she's mayor of Edge City.
We don't really want to call out political parties, but she's the one where you're not going to be rooting for her. You know, she's in the pocket of whatever lobbyist is doing her business, and she's okay with people dying for her constituents or her lobbyists or whatever. And then you got this other guy who goes out, and his lobbies are not his lobbies, but his rallies are like one dude. And that guy's asleep.
It reminds me of the episode of Batman, my favorite episode of Batman 66, His Honor the Penguin, where Penguin runs for mayor and Batman runs against him. And Penguin's rallies are all big parties where he just kind of says random talking points that everyone would agree with and brings out champagne and go-go girls, while Batman just wants to talk the issues and no one shows up. Not even, I think Commissioner Gordon shows up and falls asleep.
Yeah, so I guess this kind of runs a parallel on this one. But so we finally find out who the mask is actually going to be for this, and it's the poor underdog gentleman who's running up against Kathy.
I will say the opening sequence, there's a 5-page little introductory bit that just kind of reminds you that this is not the Jim Carrey movie.
Yeah, because we have a kid who wears the mask briefly, but then tosses it away after he's done his business.
He tosses it into the dump where it's later found by this wannabe candidate.
Right.
After he violently murders his abusive foster family.
Yes.
Because,
wow.
He punches through the foster dad
and then puts overloads chocolate syrup
until the mom's head explodes. Yeah.
I gotta say one thing about Mask. When they're trying to establish a villain, they don't really
mince words.
Hide it.
Yeah.
Within 2 frames, they're super horrible people.
Yeah.
You have no question. It's like, well, maybe this person has just been led down the wrong alley. No. They're a horrible person. They're creating children.
It is.
And the other one, the dad is obviously abusing the created children.
It is monsters slaughtering bigger monsters.
Yeah. So you're kind of rooting for these horrible people to have horrible deaths happen to them. This is basically murder porn. I
also add, I'm very excited about the new kind of antagonist for the Mask, taking over the role from Walter, the unstoppable juggernaut mob goon. We have the Canadian, who's a much lither, softer spoken. Oh, he speaks at all.
Yeah.
Mob goon.
Oh God. When the guy who's hiring these guys to deal with Kathy or whoever he's going against, he hires a Canadian. He's like, well, how am I to know that you're really worth the crap? The Canadian proceeds to cut off his own ear with a smile on his face and then chew it up.
Delicious.
Damn.
I just had a character in my D&D campaign eat an ear, so I was like, oh man, I've really got my fingers on the pulse for what's spooky right now.
I gotta wonder, did he spit out his ear and sew it back on for,
It looks like he swallowed it.
Oh my God.
So we'll get a Canadian with one less ear for the rest of the series.
This book is hardcore.
Yeah, and what really shocked me is it's by Christopher Cantwell, who wrote last week's Doctor Doom #1. So I was like, man, I'm really digging this guy now. He's one to follow.
Someone in Dark Horse told him what to do, and he did it.
Yeah, they're just like, hey, we want to bring the Mask back after 20 years. And he was like, oh, got a real dark take for it that fits our political times. And it is...
I'm kind of curious to see what the sales come from this, because I remember the old Mask series was quite a cash cow for Dark Horse.
They kept doing more and more spinoffs that relied more and more on being like the movie and the cartoon to lesser results. I think the last great... Well, I love Joker Mask. Joker Mask and Lobo Mask are a ton of fun. But I think the last great solo Mask story was Hunt for Green October by Evan Dorkin.
So Evan Dorkin, of Milk and Cheese fan.
Yes.
Big fan of him. Big fan. Are we... I'm blanking out on this one. I forgot what I was going to say. I'm kind of curious to see if this is actually going to make some money, and if it does, we're going to see more of this kind of stuff.
I think my store already sold out of it, so it's a good sign.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, I think people are really jonesing for it. Like, I mean, it's been 20 years since Joker Mask, and it is very politically relevant.
It is politically relevant without it pointing too many fingers. You pretty much, you're set to establish what exactly is the bad person in this very early. Okay, so that was Mask. I Pledge Allegiance. Go check that out.
Excellent book that I will definitely be picking up the rest of, as if I wasn't already going to.
Okay, so we're going to spend less than a minute talking about Spider-Man.
Lay it on me. I didn't read it. I bounced after the first issue.
It's basically Spider-Man. The kid Spider-Man gets in a suit, grabs his girlfriend who's in a Halloween costume. They go swinging. He comes home. Peter Parker's waiting for him. Hey, Spider-Man, with his little hook hand into the comic. So
sounds like a whole lot happened.
Yeah, I read Spider-Girl,
but bad.
Yeah. Okay, moving on.
Read Spider-Girl. It's great.
Yeah. Go read Spider-Girl. Okay, so we've always saved the good X for the last, and that's what we got this week. The first of the new issues of the X titles, X-Men #1, came out.
A Summers family reunion.
A big Summers family reunion. And I don't think we can ignore the elephant in the room any longer.
I'm very excited to talk about it.
You called this, back when we were talking about it, because one of the first rules of mutantdom is make more mutants. And you talked about the fact that it did quite seem that Wolverine, Cyclops, Jean Grey, and to some degree Emma Frost had a little quad going on there.
All looking very chummy.
They were very chummy. We found out just how chummy they are. So Cyclops decided he was going to make his house on the moon.
Yes, as you do.
Wolverine lives with him.
Yes, he does.
Wolverine lives with him and Jean Grey in a joined capsule with no doors between them.
They make a point to show you what doors look like on the map, and there are no doors between those three chambers.
Hickman has almost completely highlighted, hey, check this out, polyamory in the X world.
The Krakoa Backdoa. Like, they had to specially request that from Cypher, be like, hey, can we get can we do this? Some bone tunnels?
We really want this to happen. We don't want doors. We want full
What's
access.
wildest to me is that Scott's entire extended family lives with them.
Yes.
And so they probably they better have some soundproof doors. Because they are making more mutants in there. Meanwhile, his dad's across the hall. Both of his brothers are living there. His daughter, his son. his stepmom.
Vulcan has gone from this big villain to this kind of doofy brother is super obsessed with fire.
So Vulcan has sucked for years. I love this new take on him.
He likes fire.
Yeah, I love how he's this weird, completely out of touch space warlord who's trying to barbecue.
Yeah, so Wolverine's telling him, I want that rare. I was like, you'll get it rare.
Medium rare. We're gonna fight.
We're gonna fight.
It was delightful. It was the first time I've ever enjoyed reading Vulcan. I've read good stories that have Vulcan in them. War of Kings is phenomenal, but Vulcan's the worst part about it.
You know, as far as a first issue X-Men book, this is surprisingly lighthearted.
Yeah.
It's really all just about Scott establishing his family, making a gateway between the Starjammer and home. So
which was really sweet. I like that.
Yeah, so his father can come and go as he pleases. That's super awesome. Good on you,
Son
Scott.
of the Year award to Scott Summers.
Exactly. Polaris almost came into this whole thing, but she decided not to get involved in that whole thing. So we're still keeping poor Alex away from Polaris.
I love Havoc and Polaris a ton. They're one of my favorite couples.
Yeah, I love them in X Factor.
Yeah, I love them in X Factor. I loved them in Claremont's massive X-Men run. Such a good duo. And they've been together pretty much, well, on and off together, like since they were introduced back in the 60s.
You know what kind of threw me off for a brief moment was young Cable referring to Jean Grey as mom.
Yeah.
Just flat out, hey, mom, can I have Raza's antimatter gun? It's really cool.
They're a sweet summer family.
Sweet summer family.
I also really loved how much the children of Krakoa love Magneto.
He's the bad boy.
It was so cute when they're just like, Magneto, you're back.
You're so cool. Tell us how awful people are.
We're ready to fight the humans. And Magneto's like, no, child, I fight so you don't have to.
I'm the bad guy gone good. You can't do that anymore. You can't be cool like I used to be because I got that squared away.
It was
tight.
It was a really nice little scene. I liked it a lot. It helped like establish more of what Krakoa is like.
I enjoyed seeing Hephzibah again.
Hephzibah, always nice to see her.
And that weird way that she talks. I actually had to read her stuff like twice to figure out what is she talking about. Hephzibah, you used to be part of the X-Men for a while. And
for a hot minute, yeah.
Wasn't she hooked up with Alex?
I'm not sure.
She was definitely hooking up with someone.
It'd be real weird.
Who it'd
be real weird if it's Alex, but I mean,
keep it in family.
It's a new age for the X-Men.
Yes, it's definitely a new age. I'm wondering how further this goes.
Well,
I want Nightcrawler's conquest room to be just as big as their 3.
Nightcrawler's house is just covered in pillows. It's just one giant pillow fort.
One gigantic pillow. Everybody loves Kurt. I love Kurt.
My initial response when they showed the floor pan was like, where's Emma? And I was like, Emma's probably got her own nice place, and she just comes over to smash.
Yeah, she just comes to smash.
Comes over, has her fun with Scott, and then bounces.
And goes off to her ice castle somewhere on Saturn or some crap like that, because you can go wherever the hell you want now.
Krakoa, just gotta plant a little seed.
Yeah, I guess it also explains what we see a little future where Sunspot is like off in the Shire Empire, because apparently he can walk there if he wants to. Mutants are a serious bit. Now, at the very end of this, we're seeing a character that most people probably don't know about. When I saw it, I was like, okay, I'm looking at this costume. That looks like something that Scott Lobdell or Chris Picciolo would make. I get them too mixed up because they both created Generation X. I was like, that's definitely a Chris Picciolo creation with the stripes and the circles and everything like that. So I had to go look it up. And apparently that character is Seraphina from the Children of the Vault. I don't know if you remember that. Back when Rogue had her X-Men team, which comprised of like Sabretooth.
Oh,
Mystique.
yeah. It's collected as X-Men Marauders, I think. That's what.
Basically. And the Children of the Vault were on this gigantic ship, and they're from the future or some crap like that. I can't remember if she's a mutant or not. And it seems kind of weird that they brought her up like this without really naming her or name dropping even where she comes from or bringing up the other ones. But I'm curious to see where this goes.
Yeah. Many, many mysteries to be explored in Hickman's #1.
And we definitely got some more titles to go. What's next week's Big X title?
Next week is Marauders, which I'm super, super stoked for.
Yeah, I read somewhere that Kitty Pryde is in that empty seat. As
the Red Queen?
Yeah. She's going to be that empty seat filler. Yay, there's my Marauders card. Oh, so we all got cards when we got our cool Exo number 1. I got the cool Bagley cover here. I'm going to hold it up because I love it that much.
I got the standard Lenil U because I got to get that don't talk to me or my son or my daughter or my brother or my other brother or my father or my ex-wife or my ex-wife's boyfriend ever again. My favorite thing to come out of this was just that one post.
I'm excited that actually Corsair is part of the team.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
I really like
that.
Corsair, even if he does inexplicably never age.
Hey,
Space.
Chris Summers is the stuff. He's probably got that de-aging cream from Hepzibah.
I'm sad that the time to get a Tom Selleck Corsair movie is long past us.
Oh, Tom Selleck's kind of a big dude. Corsair's not a big dude.
That's true, but
he's shorter.
But Tom Selleck's got the mustache for it.
He does have it. That epic mustache has gone through the years and the eons. He still retains it to this day, and it's not ironic.
You know what's one of my favorite things about Corsair? Is that the first kind of hint that he was Cyclops' dad was Cyclops grew out some stubble and then was like, I look kind of like Corsair.
Yeah, go figure.
So good.
All right, now before we start digging into our news, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
This is Brooke with Haphazard Fiction. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I hope everybody is learning something and having a good time while doing it. Hopefully you find Casey and Gideon's encyclopedic knowledge just as entertaining and insightful as I do. They're definitely actually teaching me some things over here. Wanted to bring you guys a couple pieces of news. First off, as usual, just wanted to remind everybody that as a new YouTube channel that we are definitely looking to grow. Your help would be greatly appreciated, whether it's in the form of a like or a subscribe or even potentially becoming a patron. Any help that you guys could do or spreading the word would just be a huge benefit to us here as we try to grow this brand. But also wanted to kind of throw it out there that if any of you do happen to be role players and are maybe interested in finding a new live play role-playing game podcast to listen to, invite you to check out The House of Morpheus. It's a game we try to release a new episode every couple of weeks and definitely have an absolute blast bringing you that one. I just wanted to invite everybody out there. You can find that by going to our page at haphazardfiction.com. And, all of the links for all of our different shows are going to be on there. And once again, we are going to try to grow this brand. So thanks for tuning in to Hazardous Materials, and I take you back to Casey and Gideon.
And we're back from our break, now ready to cover some of the media news for the week. And good Lord, do we have a lot of media news this week.
We do a lot of media news. And I think we got to go knee deep into the biggest piece.
Yeah.
That's Kevin Feige's conquering the world.
He is expanding his influence beyond just Marvel Studios to Marvel Entertainment proper.
Yes, taking away Marvel Television from Ike Perlmutter. I got my wish fulfillment in 1 week.
But at what cost? Will I lose Disney's Son of Satan on Hulu?
No way, because now it's part of Feige's master plan.
That's true. They did just cast the Son of Satan.
And they did.
A couple weeks ago.
He's kind of an insidious looking pretty boy.
Satan.
I'm aboard.
I'm too. I'm very excited for it still.
Well, not only does this mean that Ike does not have any kind of creative or... He doesn't oversee anything that deals in television or film. Mm-mm. He has like some things that are on the back burner with the publishing,
like merchandising, stuff like that.
I mean, basically, they fired him without firing him.
Yeah, they can't remove him because he owns too much of the company, but they can greatly lessen his influence.
Yeah, they can definitely take away his influence in the company without taking away his money. And I swear, it almost feels like they realized the albatross that was around their neck and like, man, we can make this smaller, like chicky sized.
I'm a little concerned that we're going to be in a devil you know situation because I'm just really worried we're going to get some bland ass Marvel comics out of this.
Nah.
My big worry is they're going to try to MCUify the comic, and I've been scared of that with varying levels of reasonableness for a good 7 years at this point.
I'm willing to trust a man who's steered us right on 10 years of good television and film. Well, not so much television, but definitely film. I mean, there aren't any bad MCU films. There's just
there's some real stinkers.
There's some borderline bad ones like Iron Man 2, Thor: Dark World.
I love Iron Man 2 first off, but I was gonna say Thor: Dark World and Spider-Man: Far From Home. Those are my two.
Far From Home? Oh my God, what is wrong with you?
We've talked about this multiple times.
I know, and I'm shocked every single time.
Far From Home is the worst Spider-Man movie. It's my hot
my
take.
God.
Blistering hot takes from Gideon Gonzalez.
This is awful.
I know.
I don't know if we can be friends anymore.
I keep driving that stake further into your heart.
Yeah, I don't know if I can. Okay, so the cool thing is we don't really have to worry about Marvel Television anymore because that was kind of the concern is that Marvel Studios television properties that were happening in Disney Plus would pretty much eclipse Marvel Television. Mm-hmm. And that means that anything that's in Marvel Television is going to see the Reaper. That includes Hellstorm, Cloak and Dagger.
Ghost Rider's our first victim.
Yes, our Ghost Riders and Runaways.
Yeah.
I love Runaways. And surprisingly, I like Cloak and Dagger. Mm-hmm. I would like them to stick around.
Yeah. Maybe.
Now with Feige in charge, they can.
Yeah.
There's no problems. There's no heads to butt. There's no bureaucracy to overcome. It just is.
I am greatly looking forward to Marvel TV and Marvel Studios actually playing ball for once because driven me nuts with this one-way street of movies influencing the TV, but the TV never getting to use any of the movies' toys.
Yeah.
And just, it's like the Netflix stuff. I really hope this lets us bring Daredevil back sooner rather than later. Give me back Daredevil. Give me a conclusion to Cage's season 2's big cliffhanger.
Right. Well, I mean, we have one more year because Daredevil was canceled in August of 2018, excuse me. So we got one more year of being on the outs.
I really think they can get everybody back
easily.
Like D'Onofrio loves the role.
Yeah, he's been campaigning to get that thing back on the ball just as hard as Cox has.
Yeah,
Cox showed up at a
Save Daredevil.
Yeah,
with a joke
in his Matt Murdock gear.
With a Joe Quesada. I mean, to be fair, it's not a lot. It's a suit. It's a suit and some glasses.
But it's still it.
Yeah,
he's still.
It's still cool.
Oh my God. I would love to have Daredevil back.
Now,
I would love to have my Bullseye back.
Oh God, he just needs to have his costume. My one forever sad that I've never gotten to see a live action Bullseye costume.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Daredevil season 3 because you checked out in season 2, do yourself a favor because
it's better.
It's so good, and the Bullseye in it is so good. I mean, it looks like it hurts when he does what he does to people.
It's so good.
With cutlery, just like bits of like picnic forks and stuff like that. And I was like, oh God, that
church
really
collection
hurts.
plates.
Yes, everything. He is on the ball with this stuff. I love Netflix Bullseye.
He is
even more than Colin Farrell.
I love them both in different ways.
I love Colin Farrell Bullseye just because of his over the top kill of that poor woman in the airplane.
More peanuts, please.
I love Bullseye.
Well, hopefully we get the Feige and Akira Yoshida death match we've all been waiting for.
Indeed. And you know what? This could also save Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and we'll finally maybe get an MCU crossover if they haven't finished filming the whole thing yet.
I think it's done.
Still got time for a reboot, and they really care. They'll stick, I don't know, Spider-Man in the last episode.
Maybe you'll get a Disney Plus special.
Yeah. Oh, man, that'd be great. I'm holding out hope for that one. All right, so speaking of Netflix is going to get Bone as an animated series.
The acclaimed all-ages series by Jeff Smith.
Yeah.
Really fun little fantasy book.
It really is. It's my love of the stupid rat creatures.
Surprisingly, like low-key, maybe the best Red Sonja comic ever with Rose.
Yeah, it's strangely. Bone is an independent book, and it's kind of drawn in a I don't know, old school comic strip kind of way.
Yeah. I was going to say cartoony, but I think comic strip is more the aesthetic.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. It was really popular when it was out. It was really popular even with mainstream comic buyers.
Yeah, and it's spent years being very popular at Scholastic Book Fairs.
Yeah, I mean, it was like its popularity was up there with Cerebus.
Yeah.
Remember Cerebus when it was a big thing and it hit 300?
Let's say, but Bone never quite went crazy like Cerebus did.
Yes, this is quite true.
They still come out with Cerebus comics.
Do they?
They're real bad.
Oh, that's too bad.
It's mostly old man yelling at cloud once a month.
Well, they did retire in the 90s. It's around the time that Bone stopped.
Yeah. It's just Dave Sim being mad about women and minorities.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He's a problematic person.
Yeah. He does not like the LGBT community. And he'll write an entire $4.99 issue where you get to read his views on it. I
really regret bringing him up now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dave Sim, not great.
That guy. There's our PG-13.
But yeah, Bone is a wonderful, wonderful, I had to say children's comic because really you can enjoy it at any age.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of hokey to say all ages for marketing reasons, but it really is an all ages book.
I actually read it just to see the rat creatures. Rat creatures are hilarious.
They are great.
Stupid rat creatures.
The phone Bone is amazing. Love him.
His cousin or yeah, with a little derby or trilby or whatever that hat is he's got on.
It's just a delightful book that I'm excited to see brought to life in an animated venue because really it's the only way you could do it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. Speaking of that, Batman casting, we've got a Catwoman.
Yes, Zoe Kravitz.
I think it's great.
Awesome casting. Really excited about that.
Apparently she's really excited about it too. I've saw some of her stuff and she's kind of freaking out about it.
And it's super, super cool. I'm so hyped for this Batman movie just from the cast alone. After Jeffrey Wright got announced, after Zoe Kravitz now, and the other one that I'm super hyped for, Paul Dano as the Riddler.
Yes.
That guy who looks like a mashup between Christian Bale and Michael Cera.
Yeah, I'm hearing different things on how that happened. I'm hearing that Jonah Hill was dismissed. I'm hearing that he passed on it.
I think the thing that I've seen the most is that he passed it because they couldn't agree on a salary for him just because he wanted to be paid more than Pattinson was getting paid, which I mean isn't unheard of.
That's the Joker maneuver right there.
Isn't unheard of in superhero movies. I mean, Gene Hackman got paid more than Superman in Superman movie. Hell, Jor-El got paid more than Superman the movie.
I think that's what happened in almost all the Batman films.
Pretty much.
All the villains got paid more.
I know. Usually all the villains were bigger stars, but it's debatable to say who's the bigger star between Jonah Hill and Robert Pattinson.
I, for one, think that Pattinson is going to knock it out of the park.
Me too. Yeah. I think he has spent a solid decade just knocking out weird little fun movies. I'm super excited to see The Lighthouse next week.
Oh, yeah.
That is probably the movie I've most been looking forward to in the last few months.
I just started picking up information on that one. I don't really know it all, but...
anything Robert Eggers does, I'll watch. Have you seen The Witch?
Yes.
Phenomenal. And this is same guy.
So it's like a demonic lighthouse?
I don't know if it's going to be a demonic lighthouse. I think it might just be two guys going absolutely nuts in cabin fever.
Oh, wow. That's going to be crazy.
Yeah. And it's Willem Dafoe and our Pats, so...
Oh, I'm on. I love Robert Pattinson way before Twilight kind of ruined his image when he was my boy, Cedric Diggory.
R.I.P.
Yeah. Hufflepuff's biggest bro. Team Hufflepuff. What is your house?
I'm Slytherin.
You were Slytherin,
which surprised me. But the more time goes on,
me.
I know I'm a stealth Slytherin.
You are a stealth Slytherin.
So I'm not a very ambitious man.
So where's it come from?
That's a good question. It's because I have great friends and connections.
That must be it. I value
my
have good friends and good connections. Therefore, I'm in the yellow house.
I value my reputation. I like being underwater and looking at giant squids. It's cold. There are potions.
Well, I'm going to keep my eye on you. While we're doing that, Ant-Man 3 finally got the almost green light.
Apparently it's well under pre-production.
Yeah, I'm all about that.
Me too. I love the Ant-Man movies.
I'm really surprised it took them this long.
I know, especially with I know Ant-Man and the Wasp wasn't the most successful MC movie of the last year because it was sandwiched between two of the most successful MCU movies ever.
Yeah, what was the name of the gentleman that spoke really quickly in the Ant-Man films?
Oh, Louise?
Yes. I was told, and I can't really say I've been told, I've actually read this, and it's been confirmed that they had him read the entire Infinity Saga using his rapid fire, and it's somewhere.
I would kill to see it because they did that at Hall H, and I think they did at Hall H.
Did they?
Is it Hall H or is it D23? One of the two. But yeah, I would love to see that because
that'd be something for
delightful.
The Infinity Pack.
Exactly.
There's $800 for you.
I crack open my Steelbook and see if that's not a special feature, and then demand a return to Best Buy for a movie I bought months ago.
Black Adam.
It's happening.
Rock is getting his due.
It's filming in July.
Yeah, so if you don't know, Black Adam is Shazam's alter ego, the mirror alter ego that we love so much in comics.
The ancient Egyptian conqueror king with the power of Shazam.
Yes, which Rock has been campaigning for this one for the better part of a decade.
Yeah, and he announced the production starting in July, weirdly enough, on a comment to fan art. A guy made
I guess he was just really excited at the time.
Yeah, guy made a cool sculpture of Black Adam and said, I'm so excited for this, I made this. Now, cynical part of me is like, this was a plant, but the part of me that loves joy and happy things and wants to remain blissfully ignorant says, man, so cool of The Rock to showcase a cool piece of art and also give us a little piece of news that is in no way a calculated move to get people to keep talking about Black Adam.
I'll do pretty much whatever The Rock wants me to do.
Exactly. I'll drink some Voss if Dwayne Johnson tells me to.
That's the way it's got to be.
Yeah.
Because, Wayne, he told me.
Man, I really wish I had a glass of Voss to dramatically drink right now.
No, we've got Brooks' cheap Kirkland purified water to drink. That's what we've got.
It keeps me hydrated.
Mm-hmm.
But we're jumping back again to the Marvel news that Ryan Reynolds
teased us.
Deadpool going to be in the MCU and still R-rated.
Yes, he's standing right in front of the Marvel Studios. There's no doubt that Ryan Reynolds was at Marvel Studios within the past 3 days.
Yes.
And there's only one way or one reason he could possibly be there. And that's to establish that, hey, is my boy okay? My boy's okay? All right, I'm putting this on Instagram. Going for the gram.
Honestly, I wouldn't be at all surprised if our first hint of MCU X-Men is from Deadpool. Because, Deadpool had kind of the best movie X-Men stuff.
He's got clout.
That Juggernaut, though. That Colossus.
That Colossus. But if you're going to drop some clout, the best way you could possibly do it is have a postscript scene with just a claw hand. You don't even have to cast it.
Snicked.
Just snicked.
Like you did Thanos.
We'll freak out. We'll run out into the streets waving our hands up in the air.
It'll be like Thanos at the end of Avengers all over again.
Yeah, I got to do it myself.
I mean, even before that, back in 2012, where he just looks at the camera and smiles before they had a guy cast for him.
Yeah, before they even cast, they had some other guy to get doing it. Funny thing is, anybody that's a Buffy fan, the guy who was playing Thanos' right-hand man in the first Avengers film is Alexis Denisof, who played Wesley from Angel. Oh. I thought that was very cool.
I haven't gotten to Angel yet, but
you haven't gotten to Angel.
I mean, I've seen Angel on the show.
We're still dragging you through the Buffyverse.
Yeah, I just saw the Halloween episode from season 2, and say it again, Xander's the worst. You cannot stand him.
Some of the things Xander has done have not aged well.
I think Xander has taught me that someone really should have shoved Joss Whedon into more lockers in high school.
I don't know. For a long time, I vicariously lived through Xander. I think it's just because I had a major crush on Allison Hannigan.
Thank God you grew out of it.
I did. So we got another X title that kind of got announced. It's coming out in February. This is X-Corp.
Yeah, we don't
know much about this.
Just Jonathan Hickman just casually dropped the name X-Corp in an interview and was like, okay.
I mean, what we do know is that the Hellfire Club is now been corpified.
Yes.
So there's the Hellfire Corporation. So this could be that.
Yeah. If it's a more Emma-centric book, I'll gladly take it.
Yeah, X-Corp has existed before. This was actually that one time that Darkstar from the Soviet Super Soldiers or the Winter Guard, whatever you want to call her, worked for the X-Men just long enough to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I remember X-Corps, which was
Banshee's little group.
Yeah. And that was around Uncanny 400. He had Multiple Man, Jubilee, Husk.
And that did not work out very well for him.
No, that was a really not fun arc.
No, because Banshee got his throat slit for that one.
Yeah. And a lot of really unsettling plane and building related imagery that came out 3 months before 9/11. I remember I was reading through it and I was like, good Lord. And I looked at the date and I was like, oh no.
Problematic timing.
Yeah.
Well, we've also got more X coming out,
which I'm very excited about. It's going to recontextualize Moira's activities throughout X-Men history. So we'll probably see how that affects the Proteus saga, how that affects her death through the legacy virus.
It's a good cover you're checking out here.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see where this goes.
I'm really excited to see about this. We got these cool cards that came in with X-Men. I'm just going to hold them up, but I'm sure Robert's going to give you a big old picture of them. I mean, they're all just promotional images of all the covers. But what I'm excited about and what I'm hoping that Robert's put up on there is the Krakoan language card from A to Z.
It's not quite a decoder ring, but it's the next best thing.
But it's that's the weird crap that you saw at the very beginning of our episode where our names kind of came in and kind of dissolved into it. It was this. I'm really excited about this. I'm going to take this to work and I'll do all of my memos like this and people are going to have to come to me for decoding.
Now, here's what I really want to see. Because all the books always have like a hidden message in Krakoan at the end. Mm-hmm. When Excellence comes out, the Ecstatics revival, I want it to be in Dupe speak.
They never did translate Dupe speak.
They did they? In the first Ecstatic or X-Force trade, Peter Milligan had a little a cipher added to the back of it, which is readily Googleable, and and Dupe's dialogue is hysterical. Like, they hide so many good jokes in there.
Oh, God. Now I have to spend so much time analyzing Goop Talk.
I think one of my favorite ones from... did you read that Ecstatics Revival one-shot that came out earlier this year?
No.
There's a bit where he's recruiting one of the members back in, and they're like, no, I can't go back. It was a traumatizing time. And if you translate Dupe's dialogue, you see he's saying, I made a new costume for you. And the guy's like, not even that. And then Dupe's response is... no VPL. And then he just turns to the camera and one tear comes down and then he's back with the team.
I'm going to have to spend at least a good afternoon trying to translate all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because Dupe was also a man about town.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if all seduction is hidden in that dialogue.
There was that one shot during Wolverine the X-Men where it's a day in the life of Dupe, mm-hmm. full of great Dupe dialogue.
Oh, wow. I got some fun ahead of me. Well, that kind of wraps us up. Again, I do want to emphasize the fact that we are still definitely in our YouTube infancy. I think this is our 10th or 11th episode. Yeah. So we're really dependent on your stuff.
Smash that like, hit that subscribe.
We want to be liked. I want to be liked. Please validate me.
Follow the link to our Patreon. Throw dollars at us.
We do want dollars. Right now, our Patreon site is buying batteries for that's what our Patreon bought is batteries for that helmet. That's a cool Nova helmet.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, but it's definitely, we're now professionals. We've definitely been paid now.
We have made money off this venture.
This is going on my resume now. I am a professional. I'm a talk show host. I don't really have a talk person. We need guests. No, we need to be bigger for that.
That's true. I need to work on my Regis voice. It's been a few years since my Who Wants to Be a Millionaire heyday.
We got to work on our projection.
Well, with that, Casey, I bid thee adieu.
And Gideon, we'll see you next week.